Number 10. Mendenhall Ice Caves, Alaska. With the cave lying beneath the Mendenhall Glacier, these Alaskan caves slowly melt as you walk through them. The cave sees water running over rocks beneath a blue ceiling created within a giant, hollow glacier. But the ice caves can only be seen by those willing to kayak towards the caves and then ice climb over the actual glacier. Tough work, but with a wonderfully surreal treat at the end. Number 9. The Son Dong Cave, Vietnam. This is touted as likely being the largest subterranean passage on the planet. Stretching 5.5 miles, it comes complete with its own jungle and rivers. The cave was hidden under the Annamite Mountains in central Vietnam for millions of years, until 1991 when a local farmer discovered it and took shelter there during a storm. But he was unable to rediscover the cave for years until British cavers assisted him in finding it again in 2009. To visit the cave, you'll have to endure a trek for a day and a half and then descend down a cliff to reach the entrance. Again, one hell of an adventure, but one hell of a place. Number 8. The Swing at the End of the World in Ecuador. You can't knock the fun to be had in a traditional playground swing, but the swing at the end of the world in Banos, Ecuador is undoubtedly the king of the swingers. The long swing overlooks a gorgeous mountain view, including the breathtaking Tungahura volcano. While it looks like the swing hangs over a cliff, the swing is actually just above a very steep slope. Still, you fall from that height and you're likely to find yourself in a pretty prickly position. The swing at the end of the world sure looks spectacular, but just make sure it doesn't cause the end of you. Number 7. The Sea of Stars on Vadhu Island. Although it might initially look like a mirrored reflection of the night sky, the Sea of Stars is the result of bioluminescence in the water, formed due to marine microbes called phytoplankton. Comprised of a chemical that creates a distinctive biological light, this chemical reaction is believed to be caused either by ships stirring up oxygen in the sea or just from the natural motion of the ocean. The breathtaking display is joined by numerous coral islands that share similar beauty in the tropical island nation of the Maldives. Number 6. The Grand Canyon, Arizona. It's probably the most obvious choice in this list, but that doesn't make the Grand Canyon any less unmissable. Located in Arizona, the Grand Canyon scale is so large that even from the best vantage point, only a small segment of the canyon's 277 miles can be seen at one time. The rock situation at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, named schist, is around 2 billion years old. The canyon's air, meanwhile, is some of the cleanest in America. Visibility on the clearest days allows visitors to see between 90 to 110 miles away. It's no surprise that 5 million people visit every single year, and I expect it helps that you don't need to climb a cliff or find a kayak in order to get there. Number 5. Antelope Canyon, Arizona. The mystifying beauty of Antelope Canyon is a popular destination for adventurous travelers. Carved from sandstone over millions of years, the canyons are a sight to behold. Its twisting, narrow slots have left just enough space for a small group to walk the canyon's sandy floor, while intermittent beams of sunlight shine down through the two canyons, the upper and lower Antelope. The canyons are so narrow in some areas that you can stretch your arms and touch both sides with ease. Number 4. Whitehaven Beach at Whitsunday Island in Australia. Renowned for its gorgeous white sands, the Whitehaven Beach in Australia features stunning clear aqua waters and silica sand that spans a distance of over 7 kilometres. The sand itself doesn't retain heat, allowing for an extremely comfortable surface for a barefoot walk. Located at the northern end of the beach is Hill Inlet, a cove where the tide moves the sand and water to create a spectacular swirling blend of colours. Number 3. The Northern Lights. Also known as the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights are a breathtaking, almost mystical sight to behold. It's a natural phenomenon that can only really be seen clearly in areas with a high latitude, like Alaska or Norway. The Northern Lights are a natural light display in the sky, formed by electrically charged particles and solar winds moving through the Earth's atmosphere. The majestic bands of moving colour are incredible to see, but can only be seen in areas a good distance away from light pollution. Otherwise, they will likely remain invisible to the naked eye. Number 2. The crack of Silfra. The best geological activity occurs when tectonic plates battle it out, like the cool giant pieces of rock that they are. In Iceland, the boundaries of the North American and European tectonic plates are home to the Silfra crack, a tiny sliver that allows you to dive into the gap between two continents. Crystal clear glacial meltwater fills this narrow gulf, which plunges 66 feet down into the earth. But experienced divers have achieved depths of 148 feet by swimming into the Silfra cave system. Described as floating weightlessly through space, the crack of Silfra is a truly unique place, and if freezing cold water doesn't put you off, it's definitely one to put on the bucket list. Number 1. Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia. Salar de Uyuni is the world's largest salt flat. At 4,086 miles squared, it also doubles as one of the world's largest mirrors. And how that works is truly fascinating. It was formed when a prehistoric lake dried up, leaving behind a platform of salty crust. And when it rains, the crust becomes a huge, salty mirror. The salt flat contains a large amount of chemical metals ranging from potassium, sodium, magnesium, and while around 50 to 70% of the world's lithium resources are extracted from this location to create batteries, the flat itself is estimated to contain 10 billion tons of salt. And finally, one of the coolest facts about the salt flats: NASA used this giant flat mirrored surface to calibrate their satellites from space.